Hello, good evening, and welcome everyone to the final round of the Flat Out E-Racing DTM Championship. And tonight is going to be a bit special. Firstly, it's the final round, so we always at Flat Out E-Racing get some great racing. And tonight on the commentary side, I have an extra special guest. All the way live from Jacksonville, North Carolina, is my great friend Spencer. Hello, Spencer. How are you?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? I'm doing good. That was perfect timing. I'm actually so excited for this race. I just had to run to the bathroom right quick.
I think that's what you guys call an overshare, wasn't it?
I've never heard that one, but I'm gonna steal it.
I think if you can work it, maybe you need to get a little bit more noise out of your microphone there. You still sound a little bit quiet to me.
Okay, let's see.
So
does it sound better?
Just get it up a little bit of a touch if you can. That'll be absolutely great so the people at home can hear you.
Okay, I'm hoping it's working a little better now.
Yeah, that's coming through a little better now. So we're just in qualifying now, and just for those of you who are new to watching Flat Out, this is a two-race meeting. So the first race is decided by grid positions, which is what the drivers are working on now. And then the second race is a reverse grid of the first race result, but with a twist. And the twist is that the first six from the first race have to start on a harder compound tyre. They can change it, but to start with, it's a little bit of a handicap just to give those slower drivers a little bit more of a chance. And race length wise, the first race is 20 minutes, and then the second race is 30 minutes. And what we've experienced with that is that the second race can either be a two or a one or a two stop, and people this season have won both ways. So it will be quite interesting to see how that one shakes out.
And now when you say harder compound, what are the required compounds for these races?
Well, it's a complete open book for anyone in the first race, but in the second race those drivers have to take a racing medium as their first tyre. Now some guys have gone halfway through the race with that tyre just to sort of minimise the amount of pit stops, and some guys, like they did last week at Bathurst, actually pitted on the first lap to get rid of those tyres straight away.
I gotcha. Well, it looks like we got one person sitting in the pits on mediums right now, and Dan TGD.
Dan. Yeah, well, we
I
need
can't
to run.
say those three letters together.
Well, these well, I just called him Dan. That's used as well. Oh, Select's got it all wrong. Select has actually changed his name slightly, but he's certainly one of our quick guys, and I've got him on screen at the moment. And then in second, Stormfly 46 is our championship leader.
Oh, he just went off trying to take a lot of speed through the last, not the penultimate, but the second.
Sterling's.
No, that would be penultimate. I was right. So the penultimate turn. See, my vocabulary is pretty good. Yeah, he looks like he went off there. That's a tricky turn, let me tell you. Brands Hatch is a tricky track. It might look easy if you're looking at a track map, but there is so much elevation change and like sand that can get onto the road. People forget that sand and gravel, like you lose grip with it. But it's a fun track, but there's a whole lot of room for danger too.
Oh, there is. And just as we watched at the time, Timorous has just snatched pole at the moment. And that HKRT prefix, you'll notice a few of the drivers have got that, and that's the Hellenic Knights racing team. And they've got a little special technique, those guys. They always seem to be fairly close together on track. But the other thing is they are extremely good at eking out their tyres and their fuel. And quite often that can really make a difference, that they've converted races to which everybody has assumed are two stops into one stop just by doing lift and coast and not just being that too vicious on their tyres.
I got you. Now, are there teams or?
No, there's no teams. That's just their PSN prefixes. So.
Gotcha. So they're teams at heart.
Yeah. So just to fill you in exactly where we are at on the championship positions, I've just got it, or I had it here. I did. The man at the moment is the guy we've got on screen at the moment, who is Stormfly. he effectively has got to get, I think, 5 or 6 points today, which is going to be dead easy, because the points-wise on this, it works from 25 for a win, 23 for second, then 20, and then gaps of 2 all the way down. So he can literally push his car around today, and he's going to be able to win it.
So he's an all-or-nothing guy today.
Yeah, exactly. He's got nothing too much to worry about. He's just got to finish. But the area where it is really tight is with Timorous and Chili Bass, and with Select. They are all quite close to each other for second, third, and fourth.
Stormfly just went purple.
He did.
Speaking of the devil.
And the other one who you said is parked in the pits is Dan, who is often one of the quick drivers as well. And
I don't see him on the timing charts anymore. Oh, he's all the way down. I forgot it went down to 11. I gotcha. And now, what are we looking at in the standings today, with this being the last race? Who all's in contention?
Well, they're your main players in contention there. The other area where it's tight is from Dan. He is in 5th. He's just 4 points ahead of Loxtech in 6th, 2 points ahead of Panos in 7th. So there's a big battle there for 5th, 6th and 7th. And then after that it does ease out a bit. Cajun 100 is 8th. And then there's quite a few gaps going backwards from there. So there's 3 little packs of drivers that could shuffle themselves as we get towards the end of this race. And the other quick shout out I want to put out is to Loxtech, who is 4th, who I'm just bringing up on screen, who has sent me a preemptive message on this, because I'd have gone, what's that livery all about? Because he's got, it looks like a World War II aeroplane, and that's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it looks like.
And it is.
I'm just looking for one of those, like, the toothy grin at the front for the bombers.
Well, what it actually is about, it's a special paint job he's done specifically for today. The colours are dedicated to honouring Squadron 303 and Vitold Urbanovic. I hope I got that right. And that the painting and the numbers on the side is for the Hurricane that Urbanovic flew. So I thought it'd be nice to get that one on screen.
Yeah,
so, just as he puts it in the gravel, and it looks like those guys have written off their laps. Chili Bass, he might be worth a look.
Oh, we got some Greek on Greek violence there. We got some Greek on Greek violence.
Well, I think that was Timorous just coming back on the track in front of Chili Bass, which was slightly unfortunate there. So while they're finishing their, so the time is out, so let's just work through who we've got doing what. So Timorous in the Beetle, he is in pole. Select has got through into second. And then in third we've got Stormfly. And then Loxtech
finishing up.
Yeah, Loxtech in 4th with that special livery. Now Onford, he's one to watch in that Porsche. The other night at Bathurst, Onford's been and I hope he won't be too upset, like a 4th, 5th, 6th position driver generally. At Bathurst, which we all know is a really difficult circuit, he put it on pole the other night, and we were just like, where did that come from? And it was like a real one-lap wonder, and he was competitive in the race, and in the second race, in the reverse grid, he got all the way to the front and won it. So he could be a bit of a wild card tonight.
Well, you see, that's the thing with those midfield people, and I'm speaking from experience here as a midfield person. If we hook it all up, we're dangerous, but we're also dangerous because we might be pretty slow at some parts. So you got to look out for everybody in the mid pack, because people think, oh, it's like the middle child and 3 kids. You got the older brother, the younger brother, and the middle brother people kind of forget about, and that's where you can be dangerous, and that's that middle pack that we were talking about right there.
And then just a funny, so I'll run through the pack. Chili Bass is in 7th. Now I'd say I've got him on screen now. He's a little bit out of position. I'm quite surprised by that, because he's normally a little bit quicker. So it'll be interesting to see that shakes out. Noddy's mate, who's one of the admin team of this group, he's there in 8th, so I'm sure he's going to be quite chuffed with that one. And then in 9th we've got R80, another admin. And then in 10th we've got Devlin Calypso. Now he's been showing a bit of turn of pace recently, so I'm quite surprised he's down there in 10th at the moment. And Dan is there in 11th. He's on looks like he's actually on a lap. And he's on the mediums.
Actually, it says it's his final lap. So if he crosses, let's see, it's his out lap. I don't know if they're going to let him. Oh, and he spun out. That was
that was intentional.
I love it. I love it. I was about to say that was for theatric purposes, and it was gorgeous.
Well, I don't know what you find with other commentating you do, Spencer, but these guys will, when there's an opportunity, put themselves in a position so I'll talk about them.
Hey, look, everybody wants to be talked about. That ain't a lie.
Well, we do try and do our bit here and make sure that we give everybody a name check. So we are just getting a couple of comments on YouTube. It's a grid start, as you can see. And grid start, Spencer, you got 10 seconds. I can never get the hang of these. I always get taken out at the start.
And see, and the thing with grid starts, is it a false start warning as well?
Yes.
Huh, okay.
So I just never seem to get the revs quite right. And it's like, and we're off. Oh, Timmer's got a lot of wheel spin there.
Timmer's, he got loose. I'm taking a look here at the back, see what we got going on. If you follow the front.
It's tight at the front. Oh, Cajun has gone a bit deep. He's in the gravel.
He's got like the back held still. The back held still. They're doing good.
Yeah, Timmer's held on. Despite that wheel spin, Timmer's has held on to lead. Selector's in second. Stormfly hanging in there in third. Loxtech is hanging on to fourth. They're actually quite tidy. On Ford, my outside bet, he's there in fifth at the moment. Chili Bass looks like he's got up to sixth, but I think that was because of Cajun going deep at the first corner. I think you'll probably find Cajun's down the back, isn't he, at the moment?
Let me tell you, Chili Bass, I have no idea about anybody that's listening. I don't know nothing about any of these racers. I just know Chili Bass might have one of the best names I've ever seen in racing. I just want to put that out there.
Well, I think our battle at the moment is, well, it's second, third and fourth, and then fourth, fifth and sixth all look very tight together.
And see, going through those first few turns, it looked like 4 through 7 were all just like trying to figure out who was going to go forward and so they can get into that train.
And this is the great thing with these guys at Flat Out who've been racing. Oh, Umford's. Oh, no.
Naughty. Oh, that was Naughty. Naughty hit. Let's see. Naughty hit Chili Bass.
I'm going to go for a replay. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to go for a replay.
I gotcha. And now Chili Bass and Umford. Is that Umford? W-A-C
Umford, yeah. Oh. He was in the middle of that one. Here we go. We're just going through Shane up to Sterling's.
Tapped.
Oh, Chili Bass.
Chili Bass tapped into, and then they hit him into Umford.
Yeah.
So, but that's racing. It happens. Especially, like I said, that turn's dangerous because some people take it fast, some people take it slow. There is no uniform speed or like apex for that corner, and that's why it throws so many people for a loop.
It does, but that has broken our pack up very much. But look who's in fourth.
Oh my lord! He did not set a. It's the Kit Kat.
It is.
Kit Kat Porsche. That Kit Kat bar.
Oh, well, we've got more action. Select and Locks take a side by side. The Bomber's on the outside at the moment. The Hurricane is coming.
Oh!
It's a hurricane warning.
For the troops. For the troops. There we go.
Great move round the outside of that corner at Hawthorne. Sorry, I'll get there in a minute.
See, I'm forgetting my Brands Hatch corner names too. I forgot. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot all the names of them.
Of all time favourite circuits, this is my number 2 because number 1 is Spa. But the two things these tracks have in common is exactly what you mentioned, was that change in elevation, which gives you great viewing. And we're getting some of that tonight as well. You have that
in common. Spa's my favourite track. There's nothing about Spa that's wrong with it. It's the perfect racing track, honestly. But I mean, Brands Hatch is it's one that you have to practice because it looks so simple, as I said earlier, but these turns are so fast, and you have to get it just right, because if you miss it by a little bit, you're down another gear, and everybody's going to catch you.
The other one I want to just give a quick shout out, in a new livery for tonight, KFC, so I'm guessing that's where he had his dinner from. In fifth is Noddy's mate in the Porsche. Now he's had some unfortunate races this season, but he's going to be chuffed to bits with that up there in fifth at the moment, and he's keeping Dan in front of him honest. and he doesn't seem to be particularly getting caught by the drivers behind him. So I think he's going to be quite chuffed with that one, because you know when you get one of those seasons where whatever you do, it ends in the gravel trap, and Noddy's mate has had one of those, so I think he's going to be quite chuffed with that.
Well, and like we were talking about, you know, Losek. Oh, no, that was a glitch. Never mind. They looked like they went wide. Losek, he's on the prowl. Like he's hunting the front down. He's making this his race. And I don't know if it's because of the fighter pilot that, you know, put it after, but he's all attack right now, and it's awesome. Looks like a dogfight up front.
Well, it certainly does, and that hurricane is coming, because like the gap to Timorous is down to less than half a second. Now, the other factor I just want to hop onto and have a look at is fuel, because they start with half a tank, and we are nearly 5 minutes into the race. So, as I mentioned before, there is a big difference between what these drivers seem to be able to do on fuel usage and tyre usage. And looking at Timorous, he is just under quarter of a tank, and Lockstech is slightly less, so it may mean that
now
Timorous...
look at Omford. Omford he looks to have the most fuel at this point.
Does
so
he?
It looks like he changed his plan.
There may be a reason for that. Did he pit, or did he pit after that contact?
See, I don't know if he pitted. I think Chili Bass did pit, because Chili Bass has the most fuel out of anybody, other than Calypso, because Calypso just pitted. I
reckon he's going to the end now. Lockstech, I'm just going to hop on board with Lockstech. He was really pushing it on that corner that you've mentioned before, Sterling's. He got a wheel on the grass. Mm-hmm. Now we were just coming around Clearways, on board with Lockstech in second, and coming up to Paddock Hill, which is one of these great overtaking opportunities if you're brave.
It's one of my favorite first turns in racing, if not my favorite first turn in racing, because, well, as you said, you got to be brave. And if you're brave, you can fly downhill, catch a little bit of slide if you get it just right, and just be clear. But if you hesitate at all, you might be in the dirt, or somebody might hit you in the back because you're going too slow.
Well, and the other thing with this is, with that Paddock Hill, there is just so much going on, isn't there? Because it's curving on the way in, then you've got the corner itself, you've got that elevation change. It's just so much going on in one little corner, and when you compare it to some of these modern F1 circuits, it's night and day, isn't it?
It truly is. And, you know, I know you were talking about fuel, but that made me think we're doing tires as well. When we go look at tires, there's some people that have obliterated their tires, but we go look at Select. He's chilling. Yeah, well, he's being smart, and I don't know. Is he going to go for how much time? Is he going to go for a no tire change?
No, they won't. The fuel will override the need for tires.
Now Dan TGT is on mediums,
so he's going to be able to stretch it a bit, but only because we're getting and we're in the pits. We're in the pits. Both Timorous and Lockstech. I just hopped on board with them. And then they all and Dan's in the pits. I think we're going to get the whole lot in the pits. Yeah, Cajun's in the pits.
Let's see. Oh, he tire changed. Dan did a tire change to another set of mediums. So is this just taunting?
Wow, Dan has done some runaway victories even on mediums. So I think for a bit of balance of power and for a bit of sportsmanship, he has decided to race on a slightly harder tyre.
He wants to race. He doesn't want to practice at new lap times. He wants to race.
Well, not only that, Brazil, he using the mediums only had a single stop. So I'm just on board with Chili Bass because I want to see whether they were going to get round before the drivers got out of the pits, but it's certainly not the case because they're out and gone now.
Softs. Yeah, Calypso switched on to softs and not super softs. So, I don't. That's a weird strategy. I don't know if he was going for the undercut because he was the first person other than Chili Bass to pit.
Yeah, but I think there was a reason for that because I think he was hurting his tyres more, and because of that, he's gone for a slightly harder compound to make sure he gets to the end of the race rather than compromising himself at the end of the race with tyres that have turned to licorice.
And now we still people haven't pitted. We got Omford still, he's running the. I don't know if he's gonna have to pit this lap. If he doesn't pit this one, it has to be the next.
Well, but he must be on the
from that wreck at the beginning because he must be trying to something new.
Let's have a look. Well, he's flashing. He's on real fuel anxiety at the moment. He's flashing red. He's showing a little bit of damage on the rear left, but no, he's staying out. He's going for another one.
Oh my gosh! Does he change his fuel? What? Like?
Well, he could do. He could do. I've done that myself. I had a brilliant win on one of the daily GT races at Nürburgring, and this was being a bit crafty. I was using my steering wheel, and I had a friend adjusting my fuel mixture as I went round. This is the Nordschleifer. Yep. So through the twisty bits, wound the fuel back, and then wound it up down the straights, and we won by a country mile. So maybe Onford's got a similar thing going on.
And let me tell you, there's nothing better than having a friend be your crew chief. Me and one of my friends do this in iRacing, and it's one of the best things ever because you ain't got to think, you just have to drive.
Yeah, but also you then also argue, don't you? But there we go. Just
the first
going
race
back
he
to
did
the race.
For me, he put me 70 laps on a tire. I came into the pit, I had 20% on all four. It was crazy.
You still got life. The one who did lose out in that pit stop cycle, there's two drivers I'm noticing, is Select dropped down to 5th, because I think he was up in 3rd, because Dan's taken over that position. And the other one is, I just need to move down, is Noddy's mate, who was up in 5th. He's down in 9th. So that may be a pit stop cycle issue there.
And Select didn't switch tires. He did not switch tires, but as you see, Omford got past him because he stayed out for that lap. And now he's pitting. Omford's pitting. Oh, yep, he cut that pit lane like crazy. But let's see what he's slapping on here.
He's literally on 1 litre. So he's got to go for super softs, isn't he? He's only got 9 minutes remaining, but he's dropped to 7th.
It's all about the amount of fuel.
He's dropped to 8th. See, this is where, Noddy's mate's back up to 8th now. You see, this hasn't worked for Onford, but then he lost all that time in that instant with Timorous, didn't he, earlier on? So that's Onford coming back out there.
Here's the thing with Select that I'm noticing. He stayed on that set of tires, and so that gave him a great gap to 5th behind him. But he's also got a gap in front of him. He's in no man's land because of that.
But really,
and that's one of the worst places, unless it's endurance.
Are you sure he didn't change? Because he's got a reasonable amount of wear on those.
He really does. So I'm thinking he's on the same pair with the amount of wear he has.
Yeah, it could be, because he picked around the same time as Timorous, and Timorous hasn't got a lot of wear. But Timorous, going back to the front, is under serious attack from Loxtec. The Hurricane is still coming, but it can't. Oh, we're looking at the inside of clearways. No, he can't make it stick.
Man, and these are just two opposite cars going at each other. You got the beefy BMW versus Herbie, the Love Bug. You got the
Herbie Knights Racing Team.
The Love Bug Racing Team.
Oh, he's looking at. Oh, has he got it? They're rubbing round Druids.
What a line on the outside. Does he?
No, they're hanging on, they're bashing, but they're down to Graham Hill, and Lockstech's just going to run out of road. Yeah.
Great defence there. Great defence.
Okay. Next chance is here at Surtees. This I always find a difficult corner, and Lockstech's taken that wide entry version to try and get a good drive, and he has. He's getting up alongside. But the problem is,
he's staying on the inside. He's got the inside though, but you're not going to be able to carry as much speed into this turn unless he pushes. Oh! Switcheroo, the switcheroo!
Oh, no!
They touch! And they stabilized each other too.
Oh no, Timorous ended up on the gravel at Westfield. So he's dropped to 3rd with that one, and Dan is quietly slipped through to 2nd. So I imagine there may be a little bit
to catch back up.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a little bit of discussion about that afterwards, but Dan has really jumped now onto Lockstech, because Lockstech in that slight contact did lose an awful lot of time. So let's just
can't get over how fast Dan is on mediums.
And he's still, I was just checking, he is still on the mediums.
And he started from the back, I'm pretty sure.
He did. But Dan, I've noticed, and it's been great watching these drivers over a season, because it's so much easier than trying to catch up with drivers that you're doing like one-off commentaries for. Whereas with these guys, I've seen them race all season, and with Dan, very much is the thinking driver. He's not like one of those you tend to meet on the daily races where they want to charge down the inside of the first corner. You quite often see Dan not gain any and possibly lose positions at the start, but as the race goes on, he just quietly picks them off, and yeah, he knows you can't win it at the first corner. You can only lose it.
Exactly. See, this is what we call the rookies iRacing strategy. If you ever get into iRacing and you race rookies, there are going to be a whole lot of people who think that first turn means everything. You could be starting on pole. If you sit there and drop all the way to the back, people wreck each other. And that's the thing between being fast and being smart. He's both. You can be fast and not be smart, and if one of the two ain't there, you're going to screw up about half the time. But if you have both, like, I mean, you can't beat good racing. And he's just a good racer. I don't have any other words to say. Just watching from this bit, he's a good racer.
He's good, he's neat, he's tidy. He doesn't tend to get involved in any sort of crash bang wallop. So I'll tell you what I want to do.
It looks like he's on a roller coaster rail. He's on the same line. It's consistency.
Well, while these two guys are looking consistently, and we'll try and keep an eye on them in the corner, I just want to have a quick run down the field of who's doing what. Third, we've got Timorous, who was up there in the lead and then had that battle with Lockstech and eventually caught a little bit of gravel. He's now coming under the interest of Select, who is in fourth in the BMW. It looks like those two are keeping each other very honest at the moment, so I think we need to keep one of our eyes on those guys.
Oh, and that's where I've been.
Okay, and then fifth we've got Cajun 100, who is fairly alone there at the moment. In the background, we've got someone who's had a very quiet race, and that's Stormfly. Now, he qualified fairly well, didn't he? But he's down there in sixth at the moment, so maybe this is a little bit... Do you think maybe this is a bit of a strategic play?
Well, I mean, if you remember, he was part of that little bump at the beginning between, somebody bumped him, and wasn't that him? Got bumped in the back, and that knocked out, who was it, Select as well?
He was in that little group, wasn't he?
Him and Onford. It knocked both of them out, I want to say. Or no, it was Chili Bass. Okay. My bad, it was them two. I lied.
Yeah, but maybe he's playing the championship game of just sit there quietly, don't have to get involved in anything, rumble around, bag me points, and then in the second race he can decide what he's going to do then. But what he could do that would be really smart is he could possibly back off, let R80 buy him, and that would mean that he would start the second race on whatever tyre he wants. He wouldn't be stuck with the racing medium, so that might be an option.
You answered my question. It's like I used to say to my students when I was teaching, if you keep your mouth shut, I might answer your question before you ask it, and you just did the same. So I was about to ask how much place until you have to start on the harder tire, and you answered right there. But yeah, it's like I was about to say, it's like we're seeing Formula 2 with the reverse grid. You see people get into that spot, and they're like, okay, well, is it worth going in there, or should I wait and I get to start on pole?
Yeah.
It's all strategy, and that's the fun when you have two races in the same day, because somebody has to go out on the first one, but then what do they do on the second one? They got to do something completely different. So it's fun. It's fun to see how people's brains work, how their strategies are. Nobody races the same, and that's the fun part about racing.
Okay, well, let's just move quickly down into seventh. We've got R80 in the BMW. He's got a fairly quiet race going on there. He's 6 seconds behind Stormfly and 3 seconds in front of Noddy's mate in the KFC Porsche.
We look like we're going to have a pass here at the front. Dan's on his tail. Looks like they're almost bump drafting.
Okay, I'll whiz back to that. I'll dive back to the guys further back in a minute. What I did notice in the background of Noddy's mate was Onford seemed to be recovering from his earlier incident. Dan, he's looking quite racy there, isn't he? I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to go on board with him when I get the camera pointed the right way.
He's stalking his prey. Is like an animal, just waiting. He's waiting for that time to pounce.
And exactly what I said to you earlier. He will wait for that right moment, and it possibly Lockstep looked like he went a bit deep. He had an understeery moment there. In the
and let me tell you, Lockstech is defending amazing. Going off right there like that, to be able to recover back to the racing line, to keep them from being on it without spinning.
Yep. I thought he got that wrong as soon as he went in there. Dan's going for the outside. It's all looking a bit touchy-feely. No! Keep it clean, lads. 1.5 minutes to go. So this is coming up for the final lap. Dan's got the inside in the clearways. He's got the move done, but on the switcheroo, Lockstech's come back.
What I told, his defensive driving it's an art. Like, it's like Picasso painting a painting. It's an art form when somebody drives defensively. It's awesome.
And he's gently defensive as well. He's just parking that car neatly. A bit like, I don't know if you watched the F1 at Hungaroring this year with Alonso and Hamilton in their battle.
Yes.
Alonso just placed the car neatly where, it wasn't particularly aggressive. He just, Hamilton just couldn't find a way around it, and Lockstech just seems to be doing exactly that.
Exactly, and then you have the opposite, which is what Checo did at the end of the year, where he just egregiously went 6 seconds slower each lap to keep Hamilton slow.
Yeah, well, that was the baseball bat version, wasn't it?
That's exactly what it was.
Here we go. Dan's trying to look to the outside. I think Lockstech is starting to struggle on his tyres. I think those mediums are hanging on better for Dan. Dan's looking the inside. No, he can't get it done. Oh, Lockstech's gone a little bit wide.
Front left is half gone on Lockstech. Front left is half gone. But his right side is still good, which unfortunately you need the lefts for, right-hand turns.
Right, here we go. It's clear ways or nothing now for Dan. Here we go. We're heading down towards the finish. Lockstech parks the car in the middle of the track. Dan's going round the outside. Look at this. Can he get it done?
Oh, does he pin it? Does he pin it?
No.
Oh.
He's hugging the wall. So that's Lockstech first, Dan second. Timorous comes across the line in third. Select in fourth.
Oh, we got a battle for fifth. We got a battle for fifth coming in.
Cajun 100 and Stormfly. Cajun's hugging the wall. There's no other option. So that's fifth for Stormfly, for Cajun, and sixth for Stormfly.
So that's going to be our medium to starters there.
There we go. R80 is coming across with Noddy's mate. Just going for it. Noddy's mate got him on the line. Because Onford, I thought, was catching Noddy's mate, and Onford has dropped back. And the one who is really out of position is Chili Bass. He's just coming out of clearways now, and that instant he had early on. Now maybe
FOE, whatever his name is, he's out of gas. I don't know. He timed it perfect.
Who was that? Which one was that?
Was it? No, it was FOE R80.
R80, yeah.
R80.
Yeah.
R80. He has no gas left.
Oh, that's the way to do it.
Stormfly has no gas. Like, oh my gosh, Dan has a quarter.
I don't think Devlin has. I don't think Devlin's coming to the line. Yeah, he's out. He's just rolled across the line now.
He got no tires and no fuel. That's how you finish a race right there.
Well, I wonder, out of all those drivers there, I wonder if Chili Bass has decided to, after that incident, to basically abandon the first race, just trundle round and get that front row start for the second race.
Well, that's a thing to think about, and I'm about to ask you now because you have the info more than I do. What's the championship picture look like going in?
Oh, no, I was hoping you weren't going to ask me that one, because the challenge I'm going to have there is, let's have a look. Well, the bit I do know is that Stormfly has secured the championship. Now, the one that's probably more or less secured second was Timorous, because if you remember, he was third. I'll tell you what, we'll just bring the results up quickly. So we had, so Timorous was third, so that's given him a fair chunk of points. He was already 12 in front of Timorous. So, with a quick scratch of my head, I think that's secured Timorous second place. Chili Bass is probably coming under attack from Select for third in the championship, because Select was 12 points behind him, and I think Select has earned probably 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, yeah, it's 12. Well, I think between Select and Chili Bass it is dead even now, and the one that's coming into that party is Dan, who will have got 23 points. No, he'll still be a little bit behind them. So the other one that's going to be tight, unfortunately Panos is not with us tonight, so the battle...
Panos sounds like he sounds Greek.
He's part of the HKRT team.
Did he race? He was in the race that we commentated, wasn't he?
I believe he was, yep.
That's why I knew it.
And Dan has not got... Dan will have dropped from Dan Lockstech. No, Dan and Lockstech, it's all to play for. There's 2 points between them going into the final round.
And that's for which position?
That is for 5th in the championship.
And now what are we looking at for the podium positions for the season, for 2nd and 3rd?
For 2nd and 3rd, well, I think
first
place is settled with Stormfly. 2nd is Timorous, because I don't think he can be caught by Chili Bass, who is in 3rd. But I think fairly level with points with him is Select. So I think it's between whoever comes in front of Select and Chili Bass in this race 2 will get the last step on the podium.
Hey, and look, that's the thing. Bronze medal ain't nothing to frown about. In the Olympics, sometimes you want bronze more than you want silver, because that means you won your last match. And so, this is gonna be fun, man. This is great racing. Like, this is my first. I've watched this league, obviously. You know, when me and you were getting ready to commentate for the first time, and I was, doing my studying. And it's fun to watch, but like watching it live and when they're doing it. GT Sport, for those of you that don't know, is a very unique physics, and to get it right is awesome, and it's so cool to watch. And these guys are all like right there. It's impressive, man.
It is, and it's that great thing. There's only one series I really race in now, and it's great because you get to know the drivers around you. And you build that level of respect, which you never get in those daily rooms of GT Sport, where you can just jump in and there's a grid full of people there, and it's like unarmed combat almost, isn't it, into the first corner? Whereas with these guys, you're in the chat room with them on Facebook, and we've got a personal relationship there, so you don't want to be firing them off into the gravel at the first corner, because everyone's going to have repercussions afterwards, which you don't get on the daily races, which is why these leagues are really good. And we've got, just to explain, with Flat Out, we've got 2 leagues going on, and they're both coming to the climax of their season. We've got this one, which is our DTM one, and the new one will be starting in 2 weeks' time. And then on Wednesday night, which I know doesn't work for the time in Jacksonville, we have unfortunately, is our Group 4 Championship.
Ooh.
Which is a very different scenario at the top of the championship.
Group
they are really tight.
Are my favorite cars, not to drive in GT. I'm not one of the people that's fast in a Group 4 car here. Unless, I got my Hyundai with me. If I got my Hyundai, I'm pretty fast. But Group 4s are my Hyundai of Group 4s.
Hyundai? Well, we've got a similar car over here called a Hyundai.
Yeah, see, that's how my friend has said it our whole life, and I always made fun of him for it. So now, if he might be watching this actually, because I sent him the link, so he's gonna be pumping his fist now that you said it like that. We've made fun of him in our friend group for years for saying Hyundai.
There you go.
Hyundai.
I hope you say Kia like Kia.
Oh, yeah. Now, here's another thing I was going to ask. So, when we were talking about the KFC car, I'm looking at it now. So, I lived in Kuwait for a little bit as well. So, I got some experience outside of the walls of North Carolina. When y'all order a KFC bucket, whether it be tenders or, bone-in chicken, what kind of bread do y'all get?
What bread? Well, we get
they don't
garlic
give you bread. From KFC?
Well, I don't know, because I don't normally go to KFC, so I normally just.
That's what I was asking. Because when I lived in Kuwait, they would give me a bag of 6 hamburger rolls, like I just went grocery shopping. Here we get something called biscuits, which aren't y'all's biscuits. Y'all's biscuits are our cookies. We got biscuits. And so that's what comes with it. And so KFC is one of those things that is people don't think about it. KFC is a culture shock for a lot of people once you leave America.
Okay. Well, we'll just have to wrap up our culture discussions here, because the very, very, very final race of our DTM season, and I need to quickly mention Decal Labs, who are our sponsor and have been throughout the season. They're providing the prizes. They do liveries for cars, and they work with teams in British Touring Car Championship, so they're the guys, so go look them up. But we are ready to go. Race 2, Devlin Calypso on pole, but the man I think we're going to watch disappear in the distance in second place is Chili Bass. And here we go, we're waiting for the lights to go green.
I'm looking at Omford. I'm looking at Omford because I think he's been planning for this race right here.
Let's have a look, see what goes on into the first corner. Chili Bass looks like he's going aggressive. Oh, Devlin Calypso's got it all wrong at the first corner. He's spun out. He's gone from hero to zero. And up to Druids. R80 is hanging on there in third, and your man On Ford is there in second. But my man Chili Bass is away at the moment in the front. What's happening down the back there, Spencer?
Oh, we got somebody off. We got somebody off.
Yeah, R80 went off there, and I noticed
R80.
And the other one that looked was Lockstech, who is already up to fourth by the look of it.
Well, and we got Calypso. Calypso's ghosting. Oh, now he's back. Now he's back. And he has now said in the chat that it's a destruction derby. So we got a little spiciness in the final race.
I didn't exactly see exactly what happened there, because it looked like he just went wide, but then obviously what we see and what actually happened might be two slightly different things. But the race he won at the moment,
4 back to 7 is where the racing's at right now,
and it's also happening 2 back to 3. Oh, you're getting me talking American already. But On Ford, your man On Ford is under attack by Stormfly already. My man Chili Bass is gone.
Well, look,
Lockstech's pitted.
Oh,
he wants to get off those mediums.
Let's see the strategy here. I love that strategy. Let me tell you, I love something weird, and that's weird.
Well, you're going to get real weirdness, and because as the old Stormfly was looking down the inside of On Ford up to Druids, but couldn't make it stick. You will see a lot of weirdness, and some of these races aren't decided to the last lap. This format has worked really well because of this one-stop, two-stop option, and
now Losec's out of the pits, only 11 seconds back.
Yeah, he's probably not fueled, you see. He didn't worry too much about it, or he may have fueled all the way up, but he's also got a clear track.
Exactly, and that's what I was saying earlier. You know, it's not good for certain things. Stormfly's
on Ford.
Oh,
that was nearly a Lewis Hamilton Verstappen Copse moment, but they all got round it pointing the right way.
But now, what we were saying earlier about how you were saying your guy Chili Bass and my guy Onford, I just want to say Chili Bass is my guy because that's the best name in sim racing. That's the best name in sim racing.
Well, I'm just looking back a little bit. Dan's having a go at Select. He's trying to go around the outside at Sterling's, but can't make it stick.
See, I'm interested to see how much Losec can close up, because he's closing up to 10th place. Well, by about like a 10th each turn.
Oh, hang on, we got to move on here. Dan's looking down the main straight into Paddock Hill on Select.
Oh, Calypso was off. Calypso went off again, so now we got Losec about to take over Calypso into 10th. Does Calypso pit here?
Did Calypso, was it contact or?
No, he was just the same corner I was talking about earlier. That left-hander that's so dangerous. He just went off.
Oh, Dan in 6th is looking really, really, really racy all over the back of Select. It's almost like he's desperate to get by. Racy in a way that I haven't seen Dan for a little while. So I don't know if this is
so awesome watching his lines.
But is this not playing for Dan's strategy for some reason? And it's one of these F1 moments where you need to get by. Here he goes. He's looking down the inside of Hawthorne's. He's got it done. Can he hold on to it?
Beautiful angle into that right there. Let me tell you. I don't know if you got that same angle too. Looking down the straight into the turn. That was gorgeous.
Right, now he's off after Noddy's mate. Noddy's mate is his next target now.
I thought Noddy's was a corner, and you were saying he was off and calling me mate for a second there. I was confused until I read.
Well, as you notice, most of the corners here are named after famous car and racing drivers. The only Noddy we've knocked out, I think, is Noddy Holder.
Oh,
you remember?
I've never heard of a Noddy.
Noddy Holder. He's not a racing driver. It's that Christmas song that comes around every year. It's Christmas.
Oh, that sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks right there. It's Chris. I knew exactly what you're talking about too. Damn it.
Okay, someone's in the pits. Let's concentrate on what we've been. Oh, R80's into the pits. Yeah. Devlin Calypso's returned to
Calypso in the pits. But is he a lap down? Or is he just following R80?
I'm not sure. That R80 coming back out again.
He's out. Well, we got Losec up to 9th. He's got a 10-second gap to the people behind him. 21, and he's cutting it down like crazy to Stormfly.
So he's
like, oh, it's 11. Stormfly must be off. It's down to 8 seconds now. Stormfly must have gone off. It went from 20 seconds to 8 seconds.
Really? Ah, is that sometimes
Yes.
when it doesn't quite catch? Or are you looking at the red time, which is the time to the leader?
No, I'm looking at the timers, not the red time. It looks like Stormfly slowed down because he's got 8 seconds in front of him. Now 7 seconds behind him.
So the other thing we want to look at, I'm just going to go on board with Locksteck's data, is where he is fuel-wise, because he's got 3/4 of the tank.
And
I don't think he's going to make it to the end of the race.
I don't think he plans on it.
Oh, Timorous is in the pits. He's getting off the mediums.
See, I was wondering who's going to go for that undercut. So it's Select.
And Stormfly.
Smart man. See, I honestly think this undercut is going to be amazing when it comes to this, because with GT, it's all. Oh well, Stormfly has front damage.
Ah, well that could be explains that gap dropping.
And he's putting on medium, so he's going to the end then. He's made the decision. He's going to the end.
Okay, well, just one thing. I'm on board with Chili.
Super Softs. Never mind, I lied. It changed.
It takes a little while to change sometimes. But with Chili Bass, second, third, and fourth is tight at the moment. But just quickly on Chili Bass, his fuel is not even showing red yet, and we're nearly 7 minutes into the race. So I think he's definitely going for the single stopper.
He has to be. But like, if you want to talk about Chili Bass, let's look 10 feet behind him. Second through fourth are just nuts to butts right now. It is perfect.
And Nolly's mate will be absolutely over the moon at the moment, sitting on that. Oh, Chili Bass is into the pits. So's Nolly's mate, and so's Dan. So on Ford
stayed out. Oh,
yeah, on Ford. Let's just go on.
He has plenty of fuel. Alfred has maybe three laps of fuel, at least 2 laps left in there.
So that's definitely a one-stopper, isn't it?
And look at his rear tires. I don't know if you can look at them, but look at those rear tires. He has saved them.
So this is where Onford did so well when we were racing in Australia at Bathurst. He just pulled it out the bag, and in the second race, he worked the reverse grid to his advantage, got through really quickly, and was just gone. He was miles ahead, and I think he single-stopped that one.
Well, speaking of miles ahead, let's talk about undercuts here. Look at Losek.
Oh, he's up to third.
Losek's all the way up to third, battling with Chili Bass for second.
And interestingly, Noddy's mate got back out in front of Dan there. Select is now up on the back of Dan, so for Dan, it didn't seem to work too advantageously during that pit stop, but
Omford's off. He's spun going into the third to last corner, right before the penultimate corner.
Oh, and then Devlin Clipso's come round. Right, I'm just going for a replay on it. Let's hope we can catch it. It looks like we will.
And Calypso, Devlin's doing a good job of giving him a push. That's the Belgian contingent right there.
Oh, he lost it on entry. I'm just doing the replay.
Oh, did he hit the curb too much?
No, he was nowhere near the curb. He was out on the marbles, and Porsche 911, all the weights in the wrong place. The back end just decided it wanted to be in front.
Well, now he's in the pits. Luckily, he doesn't have any damage, so he still has a chance. They're fueling now, and he's dropping down to third, but damn.
So now we've got Locksteck is on Chili Bass.
Locksteck he came here with a plan. He pitted with
Oh, that was a bit rough and tumble, but I think Locksteck backed out of it and let Chili Bass beat the position.
That was good sportsmanship by him, which we love to see, especially on GT Sport where there's a lack of that.
I don't think it's something that was ever factored into the game, was it?
Let me tell you, they removed that penalty system now, so as we were talking about earlier, it's gotten worse out there.
Yeah.
If anybody cares, the Dolphins are beating the Patriots 14-0. Oh, here we go. He's going to make the move.
He's going to make the move.
Look at that. He forced him wide. He forced him wide.
But Chili Bass has got him on the cutback. It's Westfield. No, he hasn't got it.
That's the exact same move that he used last race. Going into that turn, he loves to get somebody wide and establish that inside out.
And it's just that, but that's that thinking which we particularly attribute to Dan. But it's not just trying to do the move in one corner; it's doing it in more than one place, isn't it? And just figuring out where everybody's going to be, and you're going to be come the next corner. Oh
yeah, but look, as we were talking about earlier, we got to figure out who's going to make it to the end. Those tires are a quarter of the way warm.
So let's just.
And Chili Bass has nothing.
You see, Dan is on just over 3/4 of a tank, and
well, so
mediums.
is Chili Bass. Did Chili Bass short? Did he short, Phil?
Let me just have a look.
Did he splash and dash?
Yeah, he's only on half a tank. He's going to have to stop.
He did a splash and dash.
Yeah, but so did Lockstech. Lockstech's got less than half a tank, so I don't think he can make the end at all. So this is where exactly what I was saying to you earlier is the man of the moment could be Dan, because he's on those mediums, and where is he at in time? Let's just have a quick look. See, he's only
got 6 seconds.
Yeah, 7 seconds behind Lockstech. And what does a pit stop cost you now in GT Sport? About 30 seconds.
It all depends on the pit lane, and you know, here at Brands Hatch, it's a relatively short pit lane. But that little chicane going in, if you don't get it right, can slow you down. And if you hit the wall, well, you got damage. So you gotta hit it just right. But talking about Dan, he could go to the end.
So the other one that's in play at the moment, let's have a look at Select.
I was about to mention him. He is hunting down Dan.
He's similar to the other ones.
He has taken out 2 tenths in the last sector. He has taken out 2 tenths and now brought it under a second.
Now the other one, you see, I think Timrus is going to have to stop as well because he's only got just over half a tank.
We got to move coming into the second turn. We got to move coming into the second turn for the lead. Chili Bass in the lead. Chili Bass took the lead. Oh, great defense by Chili Bass. He's going to stick. Chili Bass kept the inside line. Chili Bass now has position.
Great. I'm just going to go back and watch that again. So here we go into Paddock Hill. Ben Lockstech. Lockstech went deep into Paddock Hill. And he just ran wide on the exit, and that's given Chili Bass to run up the inside to Druids. And he's just...
but now here's Lockstech's favorite turn right here. This is his favorite part to pass, and he's already established in position on the outside now. Does he make it happen for a 3rd time in a row?
Well, I'm still watching the replay, and as they came...
Nope, he does not, so there's your answer.
Okay. Yeah, I was just in the middle of the replay there, and it was... going up to Druids, Chili Bass had the inside and literally just hung Lockstech out to dry around the outside, and then by that point he got the move done. But what the trigger for that was Lockstech losing it into Paddock Hill, which we all know is so easy to do.
Well, I want you to look at the gap between 2nd and 3rd. Last time we talked, how much was it?
Well, I couldn't tell you that. Well, what
it was
I did
about
know,
7.
Yeah, it was 7 seconds between the leader and Dan. Yeah, they're all closing up. The Devlin Calypso, I'm sure, will just leap out of the way. But
3rd and 4th, Select and Dan are making their runs, man. They're pulling up to the front.
Yeah, well, I've looked at Select and I've looked at Timrus's field, and both of them are on for another stop. So Dan is the one. I think he's going to bubble to the top in the 2nd cycle of pit stops.
Well, and you see Select, he could take this to the end if he's fuel saving, because he has half a tank left. So he's at a crossroads right now, stuck between, like we say here, stuck between a rock and a hard place. You got to make a decision, and none of them are going to be easy. Do you pit now and just full out sprint to the end, or do you manage your tires and fuel to try to carry out?
I'm not going to. If I had some money to bet, I wouldn't bet it on Select getting to the end, because he is just under that half a tank. And if you remember, I don't know if I mentioned it, they start with half a tank.
Yes, you did.
And they were all pitting by about 8-9 minutes. So I don't see that on
tires. What is he doing to his... Oh, he pitted on the 1st lap. My bad.
Yeah.
His tires are gone. So I think he's going to pit probably within the next 3 minutes, I think.
Yeah, he's out of sequence to the rest, but I still think the one who's in the pound seats here is definitely Dan, because I think he can stretch that to the end.
Well, and see, that's what I'm thinking about Losec, is because he's losing time by fighting. Like, if you look at his times, he was 123s consistent, and then when he's following people, he's 125, 124. And so he's losing time by following Chili Bass. So if he's truly going for that undercut, he might go for it.
Unfortunately, we've lost the driver. We lost R80, unfortunately. So, and just the other thing, just have a look down. Who's done the fastest lap?
You called it. You told me during qualifying before we got on stream that he was a problem, and he is moving.
And let's have a look. Now he's going to have to pit again, though. He's racing super softs. His rear left is looking quite worn, so he's one that's definitely going to have to pit. I just can't see anybody in that top 6 who's going to take on Dan.
I really don't.
Unless I've missed something.
You know, Nadi's mate, he has damage. So Nadi's has damage. He's also going to have to pit, but he also has damage. So he might not have to pit. He's got a half tank. He might be going for the save here.
What,
so if you look at his times, he's going 2 seconds slower, 2 seconds to a second slower than everybody now. Look at once you hit lap 7, he stayed consistent in the 125s, 126s, and 9th. But he's keeping control of that tire and control of that fuel. So he might be trying to make that car work to the end and, you know, have a better strategy.
And just wind that fuel usage down and just trundle around. Because it was interesting. That was the one great thing they have done in some of these updates with GT Sport, is the fact that they lengthened those pit stops. Because before, when you could shoot in and shoot out in about 7 seconds, it made almost a mockery of it. And I was watching people online on like 20-lap races. They had a 20-lap race, and then you'd have like 3 or 4 pit stops within that. And I just think this is bonkers. This is not real driving.
It used to kill me. I'd run a medium tire to start to go longer, and then I'd run a soft at the end, and I'd find out people were running softs the whole time. Just boom, 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 and it's just like, it's weird. But GT has done a really good job of bringing it back. I'm really excited for GT7 though.
Well, I've converted to the dark side. I do like Assetto Corsa.
I love it. You're talking to a PC guy right here, so I'm full dark side.
Exactly. So the difference in it's one of those portals. Oh, Locksteck's the first to pull the trigger. He's gone for the pits.
Well, and Select's in the pits, and we got Dan taking. Well, Select is down. Dan took over Select.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
I'm not
my
sure.
bad. Never mind. Select's been chasing Dan, but Dan got into second because Lowe's second.
That is one of those horrible moments where your brain goes like a fruit machine, whizzing through, trying to remember where everybody was.
It's like one of those Simpsons kind of outcuts.
You got it. But the interest, look where Locksteck's come out. Locksteck's come out all the way down in 8th.
I've never seen somebody exit the pit as aggressive out of here as he just did, taking curb the whole way, flat almost.
I just think that, I know I'm repeating myself. I just think Dan's got this one in the bag.
I mean, you said it. You said you have your money on him. And if you put money on something, that's important.
Because I think he's in cruise mode. I think the only thing we just need to keep an eye on is weather.
His fuel.
Exactly that. I was just going to have a quick look.
He's at a quarter. Oh my gosh. This is great racing. You have not been lying to me.
Oh, here we go.
This is fantastic racing.
Chili Bass is into the pit, so Dan takes the lead. This is it.
Now let's see what he does. Let's see what he does. If his fuel starts dropping rapidly, we know he's trying to establish a gap. Oh!
Oh, the pressure went to his head there. He was all sideways and all over the place.
Oh, looking like Ken Block out there trying to drift this thing. This ain't Gymkhana. This is GT.
Well, but he's not overly worn those tires. I know the medium doesn't give you as much grip as the soft and the super soft, but he was, as you say, going very Ken Block there. And we do know who he is over here. So
I know y'all do. He comes to trust me, I watch Goodwood Revival and all that. I see all that.
So he's got, right, let's do some quick fact packet, as we call it over here, calculations.
Oh, he's catching back markers.
Yeah, well, that's not on.
But I keep forgetting, unlike GT, they don't ghost here, do they? Or do y'all have them set to not ghost?
Yeah, I think they're set not to ghost.
He got out of the way.
Yeah, the guys are really respectful in this series. It's really great to see.
I was just about to say, like you say, like people like their names, like Calypso right there, like you, Devlin, that was You know, even though you're at the back, that's how you race. I know a lot of people at the back who will just say, "Screw you, I don't care," and stay there and make it as hard as possible. That's how you race. That's being a good racer. Like even if you're in the back, that's a good race.
So let's do some quick calculations here. Dan is still cruising away. I'm not convinced. I think
I'm pit again.
Old Stormfly's in the pit. I'm going to have a slight recalibration of my bet, if you don't mind. I don't know if that's allowed.
No, yeah, it's always allowed. You know, there's payouts and everything.
Ah, that's cool. Well, my slight recalibration is I think Dan's still going to win. Oh, Omford's in the pits as well. I think Dan's still going to win, but I think there's a slightly different strategy because I don't think he can get to the end.
Well, look, he exactly like I said, he's pushing. I'm on Chili Bass. I'm still on your boy. I'm still on Chili Bass.
Nah,
best name in racing.
It is, but I think the thing with Dan, just to finish that off, I think what he's going to do is go for a late stop, and I think he can not change tyres.
Red flashing now. He's red flashing now.
What, on Dan?
Yes.
Oh yeah, so he's definitely going to have to stop. But I think
like I said, he pushed and created a gap.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just to finish my plot, I think he is going to go in and just do a splash and dash, possibly not put tyres on it. Oh, and we're about to find out.
I'm gonna keep an eye on Chili Bass. See if
I'm still
see how much
Dan.
he pushes.
It's showing him 24 seconds in front. So no, he is changing tyres. It's dropped on the ground.
And Chili Bass is coming up on back markers. He's coming into the last turn right here.
Okay,
Chili Bass coming into the last turn.
The fuel's going in. The fuel's going in. Fuel's going in. Dan showing us second now. Okay, and we're
Chili
away.
Bass free.
We've come out just behind Devlin Calypso. Oh, he's coming out in third.
And Devlin
Calypso's in the gravel.
I relate to Devlin Calypso. I did that earlier today when I was practicing with my friends.
So Dan is out of the pits and looking extremely racy behind Select, but
he's raised. That's an understatement. So he about overtook him coming out of the pits.
I still think my old Devlin Calypso has called it a night. I'm not surprised. He wasn't having the best of luck there, was he at all? It went wrong from the first corner and.
Have him a nice cold beer, and get him some rest because we all have those days.
We do, and I think Dan is looking very racy on the back Select. But my original bet of Chili Bass, we've only got 7 minutes remaining.
No takebacks. You already made a second choice.
Right.
Third time's a charm. You're coming back around.
Okay, I'll come back with it. So Dan's looking racy on Select. I'm loath to look away, but I just want to have a quick rundown of the field. We've got Timorous, who's having a fairly quiet time there in fourth at the moment, but the one who isn't having a quiet...
Stormfly are battling.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Lockstech in fifth and Stormfly in sixth. So Lockstech was our race 1 winner, and Stormfly is our champion. They are going for it hammer and tongs. So
and Lockstech, he's already pitted twice, hasn't he?
What, Lockstech?
Yes.
Yes, because he pitted at the end of the first lap, and then he pitted again.
He wears his tires more than any human being I've ever seen in this game.
Yeah, but just watch him into the corners. Oh, here we go, Stormfly up the inside of Druids. That was a bit British touring cars, but he's got the move done. Lockstech has to give best on that one, I think. No, Lockstech's coming back at it. I think that was...
forced him. Oh! I'm gonna bite my tongue.
I think that fighter plane livery was appropriate there, because I think that was what you technically call return fire, as Lockstech went back down the inside at Graham Hill.
That's what we call a dive bomb.
Yeah. I think they were mainly Stuckers, those ones.
Oh, that's a good word. Alright, let's see here. Good work our way down.
I'm just trying to keep an eye on everything else that's going on, but on Ford, I'm just with in 7th, so he was towards the front, wasn't he? Oh, he's in the gravel, just brushed the gravel there, but I don't quite sure where he's ended up shuffling down to 7th, because he was doing okay, wasn't he? And he was at the front of the reverse grid.
Well, he took 2 pit stops already.
Oh, he's got it all wrong.
Stops. And there's the commentator's curse.
Yeah, absolutely cursed that one, didn't I?
Curse. Hey, at least your livery, you know, is blinding everybody that looks at it with your fluorescent Belgian flag on top. I just noticed. That's gorgeous.
It is. And then so was 8th, now 7th is Cajun 100, who's scared Ford off the track.
The fact that it's pronounced Cajun cracks me up.
Well, that's the best perfect. I could come up with. I think that's his initials.
I love it. No, Cajun is the perfect name for that because it makes sense.
So, and then 8th in the KFC bargain bucket Porsche. Noddy's mate is up to 8th now because Ford is now dropped behind him. So Ford, who was one of my multi-spread bets from earlier on, that one has definitely not come off at all. So he's down there in 9th.
And it looks like, you know, Chili Bass is keeping that steady 2 seconds. It'll drop down to 1.7 every now and then through a certain sector, but I mean, people just got to pick when to attack. There's 4 minutes left. I mean, in what, 3 laps? 3 laps. 3
laps. Yeah, 3 laps. You're right. We're coming up with 2 laps to go at the end. No, it'll be 3 laps to go at the end of this one. We're about a 125 lap. So.
And who was our battle for 3rd?
Select in 2nd and Dan in 3rd.
No, I meant for the championship. My fault.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let me just scan with you. Let me just.
Oh, no hurry.
That was between Chili Bass and Select. So,
it's for between 1 and 2. So, this is a great race.
It is. I think this is going to give.
Chili Bass just drifted.
Yeah, and I think Chili Bass, it's a case of if whoever finishes in front, I think gets 3rd in the championship. Now, I could be slightly horribly wrong, because it was very much fag packet calculations, but I think that's going to be pretty much there. So it's the points gap between them. So, but the one that's going to come in and play with this one is Dan, because Dan, after a couple of quiet laps behind Select, is now looking quite racy.
He's, like we said on the last race, he's a poacher. He's a poacher. He just waits to pounce at the right time.
Yeah, he's definitely the thinking driver. He waits for those great opportunities, and he just looking.
He's on his tail.
I'm going to go on board because I think this is going to look quite fruity.
It's getting close. It's 1 second now. It's 1 second basically between 3rd and 1st.
Oh, Slick's
now
gone
1.5.
Slick went deep at clearways, but he's covered the pit side of the straight, and here we go. Dan's never going to go around the outside there, I doubt, but he is compromising Select's line into that first corner.
Oh, and he took some curb there too. That was a great line by him.
Oh, here we go.
No, and Chili Bass is the one that if Select and GT just helped each other, they could both be up there for the win, but they're battling. So that's
here we go.
Out Chili Bass.
Yeah, Select's gone wide. So Dan's through to 2nd.
GT's clear.
Yeah, because it just went wide. Graham Hill again. It's the left-handers that seem to catch people out, and he just went wide out, as you often do, out onto that grass on the exit, and Dan was straight through. So. Can Dan do Chili Bass, do we think, before the end of the race? We've got a lap and a half to go.
He's a minute. He's faster through the corners. He's faster through the corners, and he just got 2 tenths through that turn. Let's see how many he gets through this left-hander right here. Through the left-hander, he gained 2 tenths. He gained 2 tenths through that left-hander. But see, they get on these straights, and that's when the other tires take over.
Somebody's just hopped onto YouTube just to distract slightly from it. Vessel Spearings asks, can I get into the league? Yes, you can. Jump onto Facebook, look up Flat Out E-Racing, and search for them on Facebook. Join the group, and we can get you into a league. So get onto that, and we'll look after you.
It's under 0.8 now. And this is the penultimate lap right here. So.
No, this is the last lap. This is it.
They're going to count it as the last lap? I didn't know if they let them finish another if they were on one with time remaining, because the GT timer is always weird.
Yes, Vessel, it is for PlayStation 4. So I'm just dealing with YouTube as we're racing here as well.
Or PlayStation 5, if you have that as well. Any PlayStation console that is not PlayStation 3, 2, or 1.
I don't see anywhere Dan is going to make this.
He's pushing. You saw how wide he went there. He's down to half a second.
He is, but where can you do it? It's more reliant on Chili Bass making
in the last turn. Last turn.
What, into clearways, possibly, but he needs to
That's
compromise.
Where he's sizing up, because here it comes.
Yeah.
Here it comes. Here we go into the last turn. Let's see what happens. Chili Bass locking up third place for the season, but
no,
and that's good racing by Dan. That's good racing by Dan.
Yeah, Chili Bass is going to hug that pit wall. Dan will pull out and have a go.
Not to die. Oh, I love it, Dan. I love it, just like he did in qualifying.
Yeah, so that's
that time.
Select come through in third, and then we got Timorous.
Right, we got a battle for fifth.
Yeah, Timorous coming through in fourth. I'm just catching them as they cross the line.
And they're all clear. Places are set.
Yeah, Loxtech in fifth, and then Cajun 100 in sixth. Stormfly coming through in seventh. Quiet week, quiet round from very much from Stormfly. I was expecting him more out the front, so maybe this track just didn't quite suit him. So
well, you know, when you've already won the title, there's no need to really try.
Exactly. And Noddy's mate coming through there in eighth, and then wrapping up our top 9 is Onford, who I think might be out of field.
Oh, no. Lord, again?
No, he's shown a little bit. He's just cruising to the line.
There's 2 races he ran out of fuel. I love it.
So, what a fantastic race.
Oh man, thank you for inviting me. I'm ready to come back for the next championship. Is it going to be a DTM again?
Yeah, the next championship we've got coming up, they run back to back on the same circuits. So the next championship we've got coming up is another DTM and another Group 4. So the Group 4s run on a Wednesday night and the DTMs run on the Sunday night. So it's a little bit quiet this week. We normally got sort of 12, 13 races. So it's a little bit quiet. You tend to get that drop out, as you know, towards the end of the season. So we'll be back up and running in 2 weeks' time with our new season.
Oh, so yeah. We've had some Saturdays feedback. You're not busy, because I got an endurance race coming up I might need your help with. Otherwise I'm on my own.
Well, and we've just had some feedback from Dan. Great race and great comms. So they're a fan of our work, and that's what we like to hear.
Appreciate it. It's the perfect balance of a very polished, perfect commentating gentleman in you, and then you got me, who's just the loud American who blurts out in the middle. And it's the perfect contrast, and I'm so glad people appreciate that.
Well, and that's what we like to do. Well, if you want to stay online with me, I'm just going to wrap up the stream. So thank you very much, guys. Again, we're back on Wednesday night with the final race of the Group 4 Championship, and I'll be doing the commentary on that one. And then we've got a week off, and then we will be back with 2 new championships, with the DTMs and with the Group 4. If you want to get involved, it's Flat Out E-Racing on Facebook, and if you can give a look to our sponsors, who's Decal Labs. They're a livery company that do livery for anything you want for commercial vehicles. If you want to make your car look like something out of British touring cars, they're the go-to guys for that. So I'm just going to wrap the stream. Any last words from you, Spencer?
No, I enjoy this. This is glorious. I'm a whole lot better at talking about racing than I am at racing. So, this was great. A bunch of great racers. Congrats to the great season. Congrats to Stormfly for the victory on the season. I'm pumped to see next season. I'm ready to see people come back with a vengeance.
Brilliant. Okay, everyone out there, take care, guys.
All right, y'all.